Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And listen, so we're at this point, I'd say mid-April, right? And the season, bro, like I don't have to tell you guys, the season is not going at all how most of us expected the season to go, right? You come off of a season where you win the La Liga trophy by a decent amount, and you win the Champions League. You go through a very hard stage, and even though people talk shit about us facing Dortmund in the final, they were on the complete other side of the bracket. We had no control over who got to the final, so it wasn't the most challenging final on paper, but still the road to the final was pretty hard. So you get a very solid team, right? The foundation. I know we struggled last year defensively as well, and then you just add Kylian Mbappe. Now, for the record, I always said I don't think we needed Kylian Mbappe. I would have taken him because he was on a free transfer, and arguably the best player in the world. But I don't think we needed him. But anyway, you come off of this amazing season, you get the best player in the world, arguably. You expect some things to fucking happen, right? You understand you're not gonna win every single trophy all the time, but you expect things to go down a little or a lot a bit differently than the way that it went down this season, and it's just been a shit show, bro. As a Madrid fan, I can't remember the last time that I'm ending the season so fucking disappointed. And it's crazy to say because we won two trophies already. We're still in the Copa del Rey final, and mathematically we could still win the league. But it's still just like if you guys have watched the games, bro, it's just been such a fucking disappointing season for it. Obviously some of it goes down to the coach, or at this point I think because of the way and how he is reluctant to just swap out players, I do think it's a lot falls down on the coach, but also the squad, right? So we could talk about different things for a while, but this is just gonna be a video, basically just who I think we should sell, who I think we should buy, and how I think the squad should look like at the beginning of the next season. Some of it's gonna be hopeful, you know. Some of it's gonna be things that I generally think we should do. But yeah, man, let's just get it started. So first off, on the let go or sell list, right, is gonna be David Alaba. David Alaba, when he first came in, he literally came in on the tails of Sergio Ramos leaving for free. And we got him for free too. And he's been an amazing soldier. His career speaks for itself. At this point in time, though, since he came back from his injury, man, like he hasn't been himself. He's making mistakes left and right, but also you could just tell he's not the same player that he was before the injury. And getting an ACL in your 30s is not an easy thing to come back from. But at this point, I just think we should just get rid of him. He has a contract that goes on for another year, I believe, and his release clause, not his release clause, his transfer market value is 10 million. A benefit of players being in big clubs like Madrid, like sometimes Munich and Barcelona, is that unless it's a shit show, um, of a time for you as a player, you're probably gonna leave at what your transfer value is. So I do think we could get 10 million for David Alaba. With a year left on his contract, that'll give us some funds, that'll free up some space, and just overall, I think it's a good time to just move on from him. Another one is gonna be Ferland Mendy. Now, look, I myself have never been a big fan of Ferland Mendy. I always felt like he's tried to be too much of a Marcelo type going forward, but he just doesn't give you the same thing going forward or defensively that Marcelo did. Marcelo, to me, is a very underappreciated defender. When he first came to Madrid and during the seasons when he was still trying to get his footing in place, or his style of play, he was a very very bad defender. I'm not even gonna fucking play. But the thing is, players grow, and as he grew, he was always running back. He was always making very good clearances. He was a very very good defender. Um, that I think is underappreciated, but like, Ferland Mendy does not, to me anyway, does not give you the same thing defensively that he does, and he sure as hell does not give you the same offensive power that Marcelo did. Because if it wasn't anybody else from the forward line making chances, man, you would see Marcelo going on the left trying to make something happen, and a lot of the times he did. But yeah, man, Mendy at this point is valued at 18 million. I think personally because of his age, the length of his contract, and to be honest, like he's not a horrible, horrible player. I just don't think he's good enough to be at a top tier European level club. So he's valued at 18 million. And I think we could get a good 2025. So that'll be a little, a good influx of cash. Another one who I just think we should let go at this point is Lucas Vasquez. Lucas Vasquez, bro, will forever be a Madrid legend to me. Always. Not because he was the best player at the position, not because he always did shit that made you go like, oh fuck, what an amazing fucking player. It's just his loyalty, bro. Like he never complained about playing time. He never complained about contracts and shit. Like he just got out there and played. You could tell he loves playing for the club. He loves being there. At this point, bro, I just think, and this is part of the coach too. If you guys have seen Madrid, right, or if you're new fans of Madrid for the past, like if you've been watching for the past even 5, 6 seasons, you would think that he's a natural defender. Like you would think that's his natural fucking position, but it's not. People forget that he's a winger, turned right back. in times of need, and he performed very well. And when he was younger, he was able to do it because he had the legs to go completely up and down the pitch and be as offensive as he wanted, and be able to track back and take care of of all the issues on the right side defensively. He doesn't have those legs anymore, bro. Like, if we're gonna keep him, he has to understand that he's only playing forward. We cannot put him back on defense because as a winger, right, it becomes part of his mind. Like, if you see like the times this season where they've run past him or where the right side has been completely vulnerable, you see him, bro, just doing random shit. And I don't mean random shit, just doing shit that he should be doing as an attacker on the offense. Like, he's waiting there for a ball, right? Madrid crosses the ball, it gets bounced back on the and all of a sudden the opposing team's on a counterattack. Then you look and you see fucking Vasquez. He's still somewhere up there in the fucking at the opposing side of the field. He shouldn't be doing that shit. When you're struggling on defense, you should not have a right back who is constantly caught off guard doing shit on the offensive side. We can't have him. So I think for him, honesty is one of two things: either let the contract run out, let him go, right? Send him off the way that he deserves to be sent off, or renew his contract, but realize that you cannot keep on asking this of Lucas Vasquez anymore. He will be great coming off the bench as a winger because he doesn't have the speed and he doesn't have the stamina that he had before. But one thing if you see him play that he does have is just that quick jolt, right? Like that quick movement on that first step to get him away from people. He still has that. And strictly on the offensive side, depending on the teams you play, that's very valuable. So for if he does a year extension under those circumstances, I'd be fine with it. But to be honest, at this point, I just think we should just let him go. We let we let Nacho go last year for similar reasons, and I don't see why we should just keep on renewing Vasquez unless, like I said, he just strictly focuses on the attacking side of things. Another player who I think we should let go is gonna be Chouameni. Um, Chouameni, I think, has been a victim this season of Ancelotti's refusal to just move players around. Because when he plays at his natural position, who by the way is center defensive mid for you guys who don't know, um, he's very solid at that in that position. He has more of a sense of where he is on the field. You could just tell by the way he plays the game. He's a lot better at recovering the ball. So he's a lot better as a player overall in that position. The problem is the majority of the season he's been asked to play a center back. Now, last season, the few times he played a center back, he did very well, but that's still not his natural position. So the games that he plays, you could tell as a center back, he loses that kind of stuff that he has when he plays in his own position, right? He doesn't really know where to go. He doesn't really know how to properly cover the ball. He probably doesn't know he doesn't know how to properly take on two attackers at the same time. And it just makes him look bad. Overall, to me, it just made him look of like a worse player than he actually is. Because, like I said, when he plays in his position, he's actually very fucking solid. But I wouldn't even sell him if it wasn't for this case. We have a problem in midfield. I'm sorry, in defense, right? But we absolutely do not have a problem when it comes to people going forward, like from the midfield up. So you have Camavinga, you have Bellingham, Valverde, Guler. You still have Modric, you still have Brahim. So honestly, bro, I would just sell him at this point just because there's such an abundance of people in the midfield that we just need to fucking let people go. And at that point, because we have youngsters, and to be honest, in that position, I prefer Camavinga. Um, I think it's a good time to let him go. He has a contract that runs until June 2028. He's valued right now at about 80 mil. I don't think we can get more than that for him because the way that the season is going and how he's displayed, I think we might actually be able to. It would be one of the cases where we get less than that. I would be fine taking 65 or 70 million for him, considering how much we paid for him. It'd still be a loss, but right now, man, it'll just free up a lot of shit. The last one's gonna get a lot of hate, and I anticipated this shit beforehand, but I still feel the same way now that I felt at the beginning of the season, man. Like, I don't think we needed this kid, and that's selling Mbappe. Look, last season, the surprise of the season was Jude Bellingham and his goals, right? Because they helped us win all that stuff. But the biggest thing was that we went into the season last season, not this season, without a proper number nine beside Joselu. And we miss Joselu dearly because of just the stuff that he does that's just striker shit, right? Like being there in the box when someone corners the ball, just being there to pick off these small mistakes that the defense makes. Joselu was great at that. But overall, man, like Joselu was still not a starter level last season, right? This season we have absolutely nobody. We need a fucking striker, not somebody who's regularly a left winger turned striker. We need somebody that is a fucking striker with a striker mentality, with a striker asset, with a striker playing set. That's someone who we need up in the front. Now, to me, And I know it could be one of two ways, but if you guys know about basketball, right? And I'm still learning too, but one thing here in the US that you know about basketball, it's at least in the past 10 years have been the Golden State Warriors. So I always thought that Mbappe and Vinny were gonna be kind of like KD and Steph, right? Where when KD was in Golden State, he was easily he was the best player on the team, right? There's no arguing that. If you were gonna tell me pick the best player out of the Golden State team, it would have been KD 10 out of 10 times. But it was Steph's team, right? The fan base, everybody, they love Steph more. So it was Steph's team, but KD was the best player. I thought it was gonna be a situation like that with him and Vinny, where Vinny was gonna be, the more beloved of the two players. And at this point in time, I do think that's the case. But Mbappe is just a better player. Now the thing is about about a sport where you have 11 players on the field is that everyone has to mesh together, bro. Like I understand he's the best player in the world, but I don't see them playing well together, man. Honestly, I just don't. And it's just the way that the playing style is, the way that their attitudes are, right? Honestly, the more time goes by, and I'm starting to think that it was and shit went away or array or what how the fuck you say it, at PSG from the minute they signed Neymar, right? But the more time goes on, bro, like Mbappe's becoming like he's becoming a big fucking problem, bro. Like his ego and all that shit. It was annoying. Um, but yeah, so I think we should get rid of Mbappe. His value right now is, believe it or not even the most in the world. I believe Yamal is a little bit more above him. Vinny's above him, and so is Allen. I don't understand why. If he's the best player in the world, then he's not really that old. But his contract's up in June 2029. He has a value of 170 million. There is no way, and I hope no one ever goes over the Neymar transfer of 222 because that fucked up the entire market for everybody. That was fucking insane. But if he's valued at 170, bro, I don't see why like a team that has the funds wouldn't pay 180 to 200 million for him, right? Let's keep it conservative and say we get 150 for him. That's still a win on our end. We didn't pay a transfer fee. We did pay him bonuses, and obviously we have his wages on our bill. But and I don't know, man. Like to me, one of them has to go, and to me, 10 out of 10 times is gonna be Mbappe, especially after like if he came in and he shot on everybody this season, I would understand. But no, man, no. The beginning of the season, my criticism for him is was never going on a goal drought because the greats have done that. The greats, Luis Suarez, Ronaldo, Messi, they've all gone on goal droughts. It's what they do when the ball's not in defeat and when things aren't going their way. He was fucking doing nothing on the field, bro. Nothing on the field. There was more than one time where I was like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, he's just standing there waiting for, at this particular one game in general, right? Vinny was maybe 5 yards ahead of him trying to take the ball away from two people. Mbappe was just standing there. Bro, make that little sprint, put that pressure on him. Best case scenario, you guys take the ball away from him. I don't know where you're on a 2v3. And in a 2v3, but just based on skill wise, I would take Mbappe and Vinny over most fucking people when it comes to being on a 2v3, but he didn't do it. That's my problem with Mbappe. Oh, or it was my problem at the beginning of the season. Now, right now, he's just out of form. Um, and Vinny's out of form too, but at the end of the day, I would still take Vinny. Now, as far as people coming in, uh, this is gonna be a little weird. So the first one that I would say, and I'm going to butcher his name. I completely understand it, but is Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres from Sporting CB. Last 2 seasons he's been on a fucking tear. He's averaging almost a goal a game, well over a goal and assist a game. But it's also the way he plays. He can create chances for himself. He knows how to maneuver in the box. Like he is more of like a Benzema player type of nine that we need at Madrid. Now his value is gonna be the problem because he's valued right now at 75. The way he's been playing, man, if a club like Madrid go after him, there's no reason why they wouldn't up the price, right? So I could see him being about 90 to 100 mil, but given the state of our team and what we need going forward, um, I would say it's gonna be a good value for him, especially if we get rid of somebody like Mbappe, or depending on the person of getting rid of someone like Vinny, right? The next one's gonna be Lenny Euro. Lenny Euro has had a shit first season at Man United, but to be honest, this is why I'm giving him a pass. Man United has been shit this whole fucking season. And he was injured for, what was it, the first 4 or 5 months of the season? So he came in, right? The team was not doing well. So he automatically came into all the pressure. People forget he's still a teenager. I believe he's still 19, 20. Um, but yeah, right now he's valued at 55. Given the whole situation that Man United is in, I think they might let him go for, if not that, a little bit less, maybe 45 or 50. I don't think they'll be asking more. But also, and in my plan, he wouldn't even be a starter. At that age, he'd be coming in to slowly take the reins of a Rudiger, who I think is someone who we should keep no matter what. And yeah, so Leniero would be basically on the bench, and he'd be one for the future. But at this point, I think we can still get a pretty, we can still get him for a pretty decent price. Um, the next one is Grimaldo. So Grimaldo's in Leverkusen now, and he went from, oh my god, hold on, I'm blanking. I'm sorry, from Benfica, I believe. And bro, that Benfica team was not the same. What Grimaldo gives you on the left wing is a lot more than what Ferland Mendy gives you on the left wing, and at least when it comes to attacking things. Defensive wise, I still see some room for improvement considering, but also considering his age, because he's not crazy young. I believe he's 28, 27. So he's a little bit more up there. His value's not gonna go up, and he'd be great coming in on defense. Um, the next one is someone who I think we should really, really try to go get. And considering everything that's happening this season with that club, I think it's a good time to go get him, and that's Ruben Diaz. So Ruben Diaz is young. Again, Man City's struggling like crazy this season. I don't think anyone foresaw him going into this or Man City going into the season and struggling like this. Losing one player to me is more, and Diaz was injured, but the one player I'm talking about is Rodri. To me, losing Rodri and just having your whole season go to shit over losing one player is a big reason as to why I believe overall Pep Guardiola is overrated. Because if you're that caliber of coach, bro, with the squad that you have, don't get me wrong. I was losing a player like that's going to hit you, but to hit you this hard, bro, and you're going the whole season without properly finding a way to maneuver around it is fucking insane. It's insane. It's the same situation that Ancelotti's in. Ancelotti's been going through the whole season and he can't figure this shit out. It's not a good look for you. It's just not. No matter how good you are, what your history is, it's just not a good look for you. But because of Man City's struggles, because their whole thing where they're trying to reinvent the squad, I think Ruben Diaz is would be considered a staple. But I think it's a good time to go get him. Again, he's valued at around 70 million, but similar because of his age and his contract. I think maybe around 80, 85 million would be good for him. Um, but yeah, he's out of the entire list of of buys, he's the one who I would absolutely want to have in Madrid. And the next one is mostly emotional, but also for backup support would be, you know what? Let's bring back Sergio Ramos for a year. So there's a rumor going around that Ramos called and he offered himself to Madrid. But the president said no, and the president said no because Ramos wanted 2 years. Now, one thing that I do that at times, depending on the player, I'll be like, "Fuck, that's annoying." But overall, it's a good thing that Madrid have is that if you're a player over 30, bro, it's an unwritten rule, but you'll see it all the time with Madrid players. All they do is just sign 1 year extensions. Now, that's the way that Madrid have operated for a while. No one was exempt for the rule, including Cristiano Ronaldo. Um, but it's an overall it's a way for the club to have stability because if you're over 30, right? One injury can completely throw you off. Completely throw you off. So they sign you for a 4 or 5 year deal and you get injured the first year, like they're stuck with nothing afterwards. And don't get me wrong, Madrid is good to their players. Carvajal completely tore his ACL, his meniscus. He's out for the rest of the season. He signed a contract extension right after that. So if they like you and they believe in you, they'll automatically give you the 1 year extension. But I just think it's a safe thing for the club to just not be completely in debt or indebted in a certain way to a player when it comes to wages, when it comes to all that stuff. If you're over a certain age, and if it's true that Ramos did offer himself to Madrid, he wanted 2 years, and the press said 1 year, and that's what broke it. Then I'm completely with the on as much as I love Ramos, I would want to see him back. Um, at least for 1 year, as a backup center back, because even if he doesn't start, Ramos just has that authority figure in him, right? But if the case was that he wanted like a length of contract dispute, I'm completely with the president, bro. Like it doesn't matter who you are, if that's a rule that Madrid have had for years, and they have never twisted it up for anybody else. They shouldn't twist it up for you because that just opens the door for a whole bunch of other players to be saying the same shit. Um, but yeah, guys. Wow, I thought the video was gonna be a lot quicker than this. But yeah, so this is just a video telling you guys about how the people who I think we should buy, and the people who I think we should sell are when it comes to Madrid. And the next thing I'm gonna post up is basically how these would line up. I plan on make it all in the same video, bro, but I this is actually my second day trying to make this video, and it was just way too fucking long. So I thought I'd fucking split it into parts. So this is gonna be the first part. But What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should buy or sell anybody else? How do you guys think about the Mbappe and Vinny situation? Because ironically enough, bro, the one player out of the top three who seems to be more versatile with in any way is Rodrigo. So to me, Rodrigo is the untouchable one because he will play well with either Mbappe or Vinny on the field. Doesn't matter to him. It's Vinny and Mbappe who have the problem. They're the ones that have to figure it out. Um, but yeah, is there anyone else you guys would buy? What do you guys think about Lenny Yoro? Is that an L take on me? But yeah, man, just drop your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be pretty soon, actually. Later.